Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia, and I'm going to be giving the webinar today. Welcome, everyone. Hope you have a great day. Today, we're going to see how to use the follow-up. If you have professional or professional dialer, you have in your account a separate area where you have all the properties that you are going to work with. If you have platinum, unfortunately, you do not have follow-up. So if you watch the webinar and you want to know more about follow-up, give us a call and we can tell you about an upgrade so you have access to this feature. Please remember that if you have any questions during the webinar, please go ahead and type your questions in the chat section or in the question and answer section, and I'll try to answer them as we go along. Okay, so here we are in our control panel. This is what I see when I log into ReiFax. I'm going to do a little search so we can send a couple of properties to our follow-up and see all the process from the beginning. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to go to search. I'm going to do a quick search here. I'm going to look for properties for sale in Broward, single family. Let's see. Let's put pre-foreclosed. I'm going to select properties that have at least some equity. So I'm going to select debt to equity equal or greater than and type in 30. And with a market value equal or less than 400. Okay, so I have Broward for sale, pre-foreclosed in Florida, single family with a debt to equity equal or greater than 30, and that have a market value of 400. I'm going to change the county. I'm going to select Palm Beach. Let's look for Palm Beach here. And click on search. Let's see what we come up with. So here I have 24 properties that fit the criteria I just selected. If I remember, if you want to see any additional information on any of these properties, all you have to do is click on the property and you'll go to the overview where you have all the information on the property. If you want to know more about the overview, feel free to visit our YouTube channel or our help section in the control panel and look for the video for overview, and it will show you everything that you can find in the overview and all the things that you can do here. Okay, so I have my results. Let's say after I looked at the overview and I see that there are properties I am interested in and I want to actually make offers on them and try to buy them, I just click select them, check the little box on the left side, and send them to my follow-up. How do I send them to my follow-up? There is an icon up here on the top right of my screen that says follow-up. Remember, the icons on the top are actions to take. If I click here in follow-up, I will be sending this property to my follow-up list. Here it asks me, how do I want, in what category? Sorry. Sorry. What category I'm sending this property to my follow-up, whether it's buying, selling, prospecting, or listing. I most probably and most of the time will send it as buying because that's what I'm going to try and do with this property. I'm going to try and buy this property. After I buy it, or if I have a property that I want to sell, I look it up in the system, and when I have it in my results, I can send them to my follow-up and to start working with them. And that one, since I'm going to try and sell, I would send them as selling. Prospecting is maybe I found some properties here that I might want to look at, let's say tomorrow or maybe next week, and I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose track of them, so I'll send them as prospecting. That is, I'm not going to work right now with them, but I want them to be there on standby for me. And listing, if you have a realtor license and you have listings, you can have properties in your follow-up as listings. Okay, so I selected these 3 properties. I selected buying and I click on add property. The system will add those 3 properties to my follow-up. I can send up, not only I could select all of the page and send them all, or I can select one, or I can select several. There is the limit of how many you send to your follow-up at a time is 100. However, there is no limit on how many properties you have in your follow-up and how many properties you work with. So see, these 3 properties I just sent to my follow-up, and suddenly in the second column, I see this little green circle pop up. What does this mean? This is the followed status column. What this is telling me that is that these 3 properties are now in my follow-up. So if I do a different search with other parameters, and by chance, any of these properties or any of the properties that I have in my follow fit the criteria and come up in my search, I will immediately know that those are properties that I'm already working with, because in this second column, I will always have this little color circle. The color is something that's automatic. These are properties that are active. That's why it's green. And the B is the B I selected as buying. So the color will be automatic, and the letter is something that you select when you're sending to the follow-up. Okay, so I selected these 3 properties, send them to my follow-up. On the top, icons that, as I said, are actions to take. And now I'm going to my follow-up and look at those properties and start working with them. So I come to the left, sorry. And the icons on the left are places to go. I'm now going to my follow-up. So I click on the icon of the little house. It's just the same icon, but this one is going to take me to my follow-up. So I click there. And now I'm in my follow-up. These are all properties that I have been working with, that I have been sending contracts and offers and emails and call them, and they are all here in my follow-up right now. The most recent ones, that is the 3 that I just sent today, will be on the top. So these are the 3 that I just sent to my follow-up. I can filter. I have a little filter up here. So maybe let's say I have a lot of properties here, but today I only want to see the ones that I just sent. I don't want to see all this clutter here, so I can use the filter. What the filter allows me is, maybe as I said, in this case, I'm just going to put follow date equal to today, because I just want on screen the 3 properties I just sent. But I could filter by address. Maybe I have a lot of properties in my follow-up and I want to look at one in particular. So I type in part of the address here and click on filter. and that will look for that property and put it on screen. Maybe I want to look only for properties that I have sent a contract to. So I would select contract yes and filter, and it will show me only the ones I have sent a contract to. If I want to see properties that I have sent proof of funds, or maybe properties that I have called or not called, when I remember that from the follow-up, you can send text messages, you can send contracts, you can send emails. And if you have professional dialer, you have a built-in phone number and you can make calls. So you can, let's say today you want to call all the properties that you haven't called before. You would select in the filter call yes or no and put no and filter, and it will show you only the properties you have not called. So in this case, I select the follow date and put today and filter, and that will take all of the rest of the properties and only show me these three. I want to do some practices with this and show you how it actually works. So the first thing I'm going to do to be able to do this and not to actually be sending contact is that I'm going to change the contact information on these three properties. So that way I won't be actually sending offers to them. I'm going to put in as a contact my contact information. So that's something that you might want to also know how to do. So let's do it. If I click on the property, it will open a little window. The first option is go to contact. It will show me all the contact information available for the property. Go to overview. Remember that when we were in results and I told you that to see all the available information on the property, all you have to do is click on the property and it will open the overview with all the information. Well, here you are able to also access that overview. If I had already sent a contract to this property, I could go to contract and see the contract that I sent the to that property. Go to follow history. In the follow history, I have all the actions that I have taken with this property since I have it in my follow-up. We'll do some things with the property and then I'll show you the follow history. In any case, in next week's webinar will be centered only mainly on the follow history. So hope you all join us next Friday also. Alt status, this is alternative status. I'll show you what that is in a little bit. And add note. I can add notes for myself and those notes will be saved in the follow history. So what I wanted to do right now is to change the contact information. If I click on contact, I will have all the contact information available for the property. If the property is active for sale, in this case, the green indicates that it's active for sale. I will always have the agent contact information, his email, and his phone number. The system will automatically put a little star next to the agent, because for properties that are active for sale, the main contact will be the agent. And properties that are not for sale, the main contact will be the owner. In properties that are probates, for example, the main contact will by default be the attorney. So I'm going to delete all this information to add myself and be able to work. So I click here and add contact. I look for myself. And assign. If I wanted to change something specific here, I could click in the edit the little pencil here and edit. Maybe I called them or I received an email and they gave me another phone number, or I called them and they gave me another email. I could edit here and add any additional information or change the already information there. So, okay, now I have this one. I'm going to change it. This one is owner and I want it to be agent. So I'm going to change that and put agent. Save. And I want this one to be the principal, the default one that the system will use to send all the correspondence. I'm going to quickly do that in all the other ones. So delete, delete, and assign. I do these things. I'm not, of course, erasing information from the database. So it's something that you're only doing on your account. So don't worry. And if you need to go back to the original information, you can update and the system will recover the information that was by default there. Okay, and let's do it in this last one. Delete, delete, and assign. Okay, so now I have my contact information for all these 3 properties. Let's refresh. Oh, I didn't put the star in this too. So let's put the star and let's put the star. See that since it didn't have a star, the contact information was empty. The system will only contact the contact that has a star on it. So since I didn't put the star on it, it didn't have a contact information to contact. So that's why I have to go back and put the little star on it. So, okay, so now all 3 properties have a star on it, have contact information, and I can freely send offers because I won't be messing up anything because I won't be actually making offers. We can practice with this ones today. Okay, let me show you what you see here. First of all, in the columns, by default, I see the date, the address of the property, the zip code based on the market, the foreclosure status, that is, these ones are all pre-foreclosed because that's one of the filters I put in the search. If it was a foreclosure, it would be an F. If it didn't have any foreclosure status, it would have an N for no. Then I have the contact information. I have the offer percentage. I haven't calculated offer yet, so that's why I don't have any. And here I have a price rate change. That's interesting. See that this last one is the only one that has one. That means that from the time I sent these properties to my follow-up some minutes ago, that list price was updated in the MLS or in the list price was updated in IDX. And it's now 3.51% lower than what it was 10 minutes ago. That's what this column will be. You will see the variations in list price from the time you sent these properties to your follow-up to the moment that you're looking at. It's two still with the same list price, but the last one has changed list price in the last 10 minutes. Now I have, here's the list price and here's the offer price. This is the column that I need to fill in before I do make my offers. So I have my properties in my follow-up. The first thing I want to do is that I want to calculate an offer. So I'm going to calculate an offer. I select them and click and calculate. For those of you that are DREA mentor students, you have a Freddie Investor offer button that will calculate your offer. This button is offered by the association for their mentor students. So unfortunately, if you're not a DREA mentor student, you will not have access to the Freddie Investor button. If you want to know more about this feature, please go to our help section and look up the video for investor offer. If in any case, you always will have the calculate button. So you selected the properties that you want to calculate the offer on, click and calculate, and here you put the offer factor. Let's say I want to offer 80% of what the list price is. I want to offer them 80% of what the list price is, and I want that number rounded up to 100s. And I click on apply. The system calculates my offer, and now I have my offer here. I have the list price, $295, and 80% of that is $235. That's the offer percentage that I want. And I can see the percentage here. My offer, I can use that calculate button, but let's say I call them and they ask for a counter offer. I can type it in directly. I just click there, type in the new number. Let's say I'm going to offer now 250. Remember, you have to type in all the zeros and click on update. That updated here my number and updated the offer factor. So now this one I'm offering 85% instead of 80% that I was offering before. Okay, so now that I have that ready, I can go ahead and make my offers. But let's take a look at all the little icons up here first. Okay, first of all, I have delete. That's, I suppose, is very clear. If I don't want one of these properties anymore here, I just check the little box and click on delete, and that will delete completely that property with all the follow history and all the information on it. The second icon I have is block. What this does is, let's say I work with this property, send offers, and it didn't go as I wanted, and I don't want to work anymore with that property, but I don't want to lose all the information that I had, all the notes and all those things that I had put there, because maybe sometime from today, I might want to look back at it and maybe make another offer on it. So I don't click on delete, I select it and click on block. What this will do is take it out of my follow-up, but send it to another tab where I have all the properties that I have blocked, saving all the information and all the work that I have done with them. And if someday I want to work with it again, or maybe they call me and say, hey, are you still interested in this property? And say, yes. So I look it up in my block section, check it, and restore, and that will send it back to my follow-up. with all the information that I had before. Okay, so then I have export. That's also very straightforward. I select the properties, click on export, and that will export either to a PDF or an Excel sheet, all the information and all the information that I have here in screen for these properties. Then I have filter. I already showed you that one. It just filters through the properties that I have in my follow-up, depending on what I want to look at and what properties I want to work with today. Then I have contacts. If you have a professional dialer account, you have the feature and that is the option to skip trace. So here in contacts, you have the property selected and you click on skip trace, and the skip trace will look for additional phone numbers that are and emails that are registered under these addresses and place that information in the contact information. In this case, it didn't actually find anything new, but if it did, it would put the new contact information here. The social media report is the cousin of the skip trace. It actually does do the same thing. Just look up for phone numbers and emails that are registered under the address you're doing the social media report with, but it will export it to an Excel sheet so you can use them in different social medias to make social media campaigns. So it will, as I said, look up the same information. In the case of the skip trace, the information will be placed within ReiFax in the contact information of the properties, and in the social media report, it will export it to you for you to use elsewhere. Let's click on it and show you. Okay, then while this is loading, let's go to the next icon, that's update. Update. The list price of the property should be updated. Well, it's updated automatically in the system, but maybe you want to just once in a while click on update list price to see if something changed. Okay, the social media report selected 3 properties, total found, total not found 2, and total phones exported 1. I didn't actually find much information, but here, let's open it and look at. So for this property, 523 Jackson Avenue in Green Acres, it found a phone number of a relative of the owner, Joseph Bakendehoove, and this is his cell phone. And this, since it's an Excel sheet, you can use elsewhere outside of ReiFax. Let's close this. So as I was saying with the update button, the list price is updated automatically, but you might want to make sure just clicking on it. Update all status. Let me show you what that is. And update priority. Okay, let's go to show you those things. Okay, by default, the system will show me, as I said, date, address, zip code, list price, offer price. And this last circles here show me what I have done with the property. This, if you put your cursor on top of the blue line and the letters, you'll see what they actually are. So this first circle will be checked when I send a contract. The second circle will be checked when I send the proof of funds. The third one is EMD, addendum, and offer received. And this is the column for priority. By default, all properties will have a medium priority, but let's say I want to actually give a high priority to these ones, so I'll check that one. Now they're high, and I can use that also to filter for high priority and only see the ones that are in high priority. So this is my default columns, but I can change that and I can go to different types of templates, that is the grid templates, the columns that are available here. Let's see one for status view. Load. Now I have address, zip code, days on the market, foreclosure, the contact, list price, offer percentage, and offer price. And I have an out status here. Then I have the out status. What is this? By default, the system will look for the status that the property has in the database, but maybe you call them and they told you it's expired or it's not active or it has a pending contract. There are several preset status here, but you can create your own status, new, edit, or delete. So let's say this one is a pending sale. Save. So that changed there. I can change them individually, or I can select several, click on update. That's what the update button up here is, and update all status. This is alternative status, and update them all at the same time. Let's say they were already sold, and click on save. So it will change them. What happened with this one? I told them it was well. Let me try it again up here. Update all status and click on, let's see, under contract, save. Now it works. All three at the same time. So if I want to change only one, I click here and change one. But if I want to change several, I check them on the left, click on update, and update the alternative status here. Same thing with priority. With the priority, I would have to go back to the default grid. Default template. Select, load. It's not taking it. Let's select this one. This one took. So let's go back to the default. It's not going back to the default. Let's do something. I'm going to go to search, control panel, to follow up, and try to go to the default template. Default template load. Today is Friday. So sorry for this. I'm going to refresh. Clicking, pressing Control F5 on my screen, on my keyboard. because for some reason it didn't, well, now it is here. I'm going to filter again to only have those three on screen. So follow date today and filter. Okay, so this is my default template. And let's keep on with the icons on the top. Create scheduled task. What this is, I can send contracts, I can send emails right now, or I can also schedule them for a later time. Let's say I send a contract today, but I want the system to send a follow-up email to on Monday. I would select email, select the date, the hour, put here a little description of what it is, follow-up email. Click on create, and that will take me to actually type in the email. If you want to know more about scheduling tasks, please look into our videos, or you can always give us a call and schedule a coaching. We will be happy to walk you through anything that you want to look at and help you get the best out of your system. We offer coachings from 9 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon from Monday to Friday. Okay, so, okay, that was scheduled task. This is deal generator. What is this icon? In the control panel of your system, you have, apart from your main product, that's this one that's always highlighted in green, you have BNB Investor and Deal Generator. What are these? These are applications that we sell individually, but as a ReiFax subscriber, you have complete access to them with no additional fee and just logging into them with your same credentials that you use to log into ReiFax. BNB Investor is an analytical for bed and breakfast market. And Deal Generator is an app that is used for what's called driving for dollars. It will allow you to have on your hand, in your phone, the properties that you want to actually visit and go and knock on the door, and it will show you on the map when you turn on your GPS, the best route to go to the property, giving you the information that you need, the owner's information, the overview, the information available for the property. So this is Deal Generator and it's linked to your ReiFax account. From your follow-up, you can select properties and send them to Deal Generator, and then open your application and ask the app to make the route for you to actually go to the property and show you how to get there. If you want to know more about Deal Generator, there are other webinars that you can look up in our website about Deal Generator. And again, you can also schedule a coaching for that. Hello, Vern. I have a question here from Verno. Hello, Verno. Can I expand my Zoom window? Sorry, I have it as big as I can. You might want to try on your computer to see if you can expand it on your side. Sorry. In any case, our webinars, once we finish, are recorded and uploaded into the system, so you can look at them at your convenience at any time, looking it up in our help section, in our webinar section in the control panel. Sorry, Verno, it might be something on your side. Okay, let's keep here. Mailing campaign. Apart from sending emails, if you're working, especially if you're working with properties off market, you might want to use the mailing campaign. The mailing campaign is when you're actually going to send physical mail, regular mail. You're going to print out the letters, put them in an envelope, and put it in your mailbox and send them to the people. So you can send the properties from your follow-up to mailing campaign and then go to your mailing campaign and work with them from there. Again, if you want to know more about mailing campaign, look up a previous webinar, give us a call and schedule a coaching, and we're always happy to help you. Next here we have send. Let's do that. Okay, so I have the properties that I want to send offers on. I check the little boxes on the left and I click on send. The first thing I want to send is the actual contract. I want to send an offer to this property. So I click on send. It will show me this panel where I select the contract that I want to send. You can upload several contracts. If you're a mentor student from DRIA or BRIA, you will have preset contracts in your account. If you're not, unfortunately, ReiFax does not provide any type of documents, but you can get a PDF file of a blank contract. And if you need help uploading it or you have any questions, give us a call and we'll help you. Okay, so let's select one of the contracts. I select what additional documents I want to go out with the contract, and everything else will be already pre-filled by the system. The system will have my initial deposit, additional deposit, inspection days, closing date, my name as a buyer. It doesn't show here the seller info because I have 3 properties selected, so it won't be able to fill in all 3 of them here. So it's blank, but in the contract, it will be filled out. If I click here in preview, I can actually see the properties that I'm going to send the contract to. I can click on one of them and preview it and see how it's actually filled out. See, it has the seller name, my information as a buyer, the property's information, my escrow agent information, my offer, initial deposit, additional deposit, balance to close, my signatures, and everything filled out as I set my contract to be filled out. So now I click on send by email. And this is the cover email that it will go out with my contract. I can just use the one that's here by default, or I can type it in directly here, or I can create templates and click here on manage template and select one from my list of templates. Again, if you want to know about creating email templates or any kind of templates in the system, visit our help section or give us a call. So once I have the email just as I want it, I click on send, and the system will be sending those 3 contracts. Oh, 0 documents were sent. The document sent task failed. This, I know why it happened. I didn't set up my email correctly. See, in settings, emails, I need to set up my email correctly. I did have it set up previously, but sometimes Google does some updates in their security options, and that's desynchronize the settings that I already have here. So I will have to follow all the steps to actually reset my email so it says successfully connected. If you see that you're trying to send contracts and for some reason it says failed as it did right now, check your email settings, and if it says it couldn't connect, it's probably you change your password at some moment in your email account. Or as I said, Google sometimes does some updates in their security options, and that's throws off all the settings that you have. Give us a call and we'll send you the steps to reset your email, or we can help you with it. So I couldn't send, I won't go through all the steps to set this right now. So let's go back to follow up. And I'm going to use the filter and filter for properties that I have already sent contracts to. I'm going to clear. And filter and show you properties that I already sent contract to. Okay, so these properties I have in my follow-up that I have already sent contracts to. So this is what I wanted to show you. When I send a contract to a property, the system will automatically fill in the little circles here. The one for contracts is the first one. The second one is the proof of funds. See, if I add a proof of funds at the moment of sending the contract, the system will recognize the document and fill in the little circle on its own. The third one is EMD, earnest money deposit. Again, if I send it, the system will automatically fill in this little circle, as well as the one for addendum. That is the lead-based paint addendum or the short sale addendum or those type of documents. This last one, this is offer received. This one is not automatic. This one is manual. This one will be filled out when I get an answer from them. They receive my offer and they call me or they answer me by email. I check this one. I click there and it will open this little window for me to put the information there. Not into property under contract. I send all those documents and click on offer received, so that last circle will be saved. See, now that one is saved and that information is saved in my follow history. That's the one thing that I hadn't shown you yet. So I click on the property, go to my follow history. And here I have everything that I have done with this property. I calculated an offer. I created a task to have an email sent out. The task failed and I checked manually the email, the little offer received. I would have here my pending task. If I created a task, remember that I told you that I can schedule tasks for later days. Those tasks would be here in this tab. The failed task are here. This is the email that it didn't go out because there was the password wasn't set up correctly. Sorry for that. And here I would have the inbox and the outbox. So the outgoing and the incoming emails will be here. And if you have professional dialer and you send text messages through Plivo, that Plivo is just the name of the phone provider that we use to set that phone number on your account. And here you would have the outgoing and the incoming text messages. Even though you will have the incoming text messages also in your phone, you will also be able to see them here. So here you have the inbox and outbox for your emails and text messages in under each one of the properties, or you can go to the general emails, and here you have the inbox and outbox of all your account, whether the inbox, the sent, the trash, and the text messages. For some reason, it's not loading. Well, oh, I don't have set up my password. That's why this one is in blank. Okay, so let's go back to follow-up. Next, I have the make call. If you have professional dialer, as I just mentioned right now, you will have a phone number built into your system. So all you have to do is select the properties that you want to call, click on call, tell them that you're going to use Plivo, and that will automatically, here will ask you which one you're going to call, the principals or the owners or the attorneys. If you want to include in your calls that do not call numbers, yes or no, and make call. This will show you, I selected three properties, yes, three properties selected. So it will show me all the numbers available. I can click on one of them and it will start dialing. I will hear the dial tone and the ringing. And once they answer, I talk to them. And once I hang up, I can put a note here on what the outcome of the call was. Call back next week. And then I click either to the next number to this same property because that one wasn't successful or that one didn't solve any of the issues that I had. Or I can click on next property because I finished with this one. I want to go to the next one. Once I do that, that note will be saved in the follow history of my property. That one was which one? New offer. Carla Lopez. It was Carla Lopez. So follow history. No, it didn't save it. Oh, shucks. Okay. So let's go to legend. What is legend is will show me, you might be wondering what all these little color circles mean. Remember that I told you when we started that the letter is something that you select. All of these are B because I select buying. The color, however, I also told you is automatic. The system will be updating the colors of the little circles depending on the data, the updated data of the property. When I sent most of these properties to my follow-up, they were all green. I usually, when sending properties to my follow-up, look for properties that are active for sale. So that would be green. But since these ones have been here in my follow-up for quite a while, the system automatically changes the colors. The yellow one is non-active buying. That is, when a property is green, it will turn into yellow once they are under contract or in any process before actually being sold. That would be or expired, and sold would be the red ones. The blue ones are by owner. That is, there is no status on MLS or IDX on the property, so that's why they're blue. Any information, any negotiation you want to do with the blue ones, you would have to contact directly the owner. So anytime you want to know what the little colors, what the color means on the properties, just click on legend and that will open this that you can print or open it anytime you want. Then I have map view and detail view. This is my grid view. And if I click on map, it will show me the properties in the map. These are the properties that I have in my follow-up, how they're distributed in the map. Detail view will show me some information. These are each of the properties I have in my follow, but they're just shown a little bit different. Still, I can go to contact, to overview, to contract, follow history, update price offer, update checks, change out status, and add a note. And then I can go back to grid view. So this is everything that I have in my follow-up. This is what I can do with the properties in my follow-up. Please join us next week so you can see all the options that you can do from the follow history. From the follow history, you're able to take a lot of actions, and that will be all in next week's webinar. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Do we have any questions? I hope everything that I showed you will be useful for you. So remember, the first thing I do is my search, look for the properties that I'm interested in. Once I get my results, I send those properties to my follow-up. Once in my follow-up, I can start working with them. First of all, I would calculate the offer. Once I calculated an offer, I can start sending my contracts or calling them or sending emails, and whatever action I want to take with any of them. I can schedule tasks for later days. I can skip trades if I have professional dialer. And again, thank you, all of you, for being here with me today. Hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.